problems could have been solved if she just weren't a coward. Like, girl, you literally crossed the parapet. Like, you've done so much, but you're scared to talk to your boyfriend. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to, glad you're here. I'm just like every other girl, and my bracelets are really loud. It's Bookmas, and everyone's doing this cutesy little tag. My friend Aubrey did it, Des did it, Sarah did it. I want to be their friend so bad. Please let me be their friend. So I'm gonna run through what I have as their questions. Hopefully I figured out how to insert a picture. I'll insert a little image of the covers on here. But I have the questions from their little tag all written down. I planned. Be so proud of me. I planned. So the first question on here, they asked what the biggest disappointment was on the year. The immediate first thing that came to mind for me, Iron Flame.
Violent Stormdale fills me with rage. If you want that much physical power, maybe we'll come on mental aspects, okay? Maybe work on our social game. We can make some big girl choices here. We can use our words to express our feelings, to understand that feelings are layered. And they're not so black and white. So let's talk backward. Children, and work to get there. If you communicate and resolve your issues with your man. Your man is like, God, I'm opening up. I'm trying. You can tell, he is trying, but I'm playing cattle. If you trust him, girl, you're both writers on both top secrets you should keep, because you don't want to have your own ass killed. You make me so mad.
I was so upset with Iron Flame. I really enjoyed Fourth Wing. I think it's the second book syndrome. I thought the big twist at the end was fairly predictable. Like, I could sense it coming, which that's a me thing, that's not the writing, but like it was so long-winded. Jesus. That book could have been like this big instead of like this big. That's my initial thought. I don't think I have any other major disappointments. Most of the time if I'm like, I'm not into it right then, I just put it down. Iron Flame was the main one that I picked up and I got through for the sake of like getting ready for the next book, and I was really upset about it. So that was my most disappointing. It was probably yours too. The biggest underdog book, the biggest underdog, in my opinion, She Gets the Girl. She Gets the Girl was like hyped for like this much time, and then just we never saw her again. But it is one of the cutest rom-coms I have ever read. If you like 10 Things I Hate About You, but instead of like the so we all know how 10 Things I Hate About You goes. The people set each other up for like, my sister doesn't date blah 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 for the sake of the other. It's like if the matchmakers fell in love instead, and it's so cute. It's so good. Nobody talks about it. I love it. And the next question, an overhyped book you read. Okay, it's not to say I didn't like it, but I think it receives too much praise for what it is. I put down Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. It's fine. It's just like, I don't know what's so special about it to make it so popular. I think I would have loved more plot. That's what I think. That's really all I have about that. I really don't have much else to say. I just, you know, some things you can't erase from your brain, and that's okay. Okay, next is the one that surprised me. The biggest surprise to me was actually from like a sort of buddy read I did with my friends, and that was The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. That book was crazy, and I'm not a fantasy person, but I ate it up. I was devouring it. I could not read it fast enough. It's vampires, it's the Hunger Games, it's betrayal, there's gods. Like, I loved Serpents and the Wings of Night, and Ashes and the Star-Cursed King was pretty good too. So, highly recommend. It was surprising to me because that was like my first like non-YA fantasy I'd read in a long time. So I was surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did, because I struggle with fantasy a little bit. Next question is fave couples, and my notes to like plan this literally just says rant, Miss Girl. So I'm going to. They're just the freshest on my brain. Anyone on Addicted Calloway. We can go Lily and Lo. We can go Rose and Connor. We can go Daisy and Rank. Love them. We can go Elliot and Macy. We can go I mean, my all-time favorite book couple, probably, oh, it's up there now, probably it's January and Gus. And I reread Beach Read this year, so I feel like that counts. Those are the main ones that stick out in my brain. Who else? I've read a lot of romances. I feel like I should have more, but those are my main ones. Yeah. Oh, I love, they're not like fully formed yet. I'm so excited about the second book, but Roman and Iris in Divine Rivals, cannot wait to hear more about their story. And then the next question on this tag is favorite main character. The first one I put down is actually the main character in the Vicious duology, Victor Vale. I love the whole anti-hero, this like the unreliable narrators, just his character choices, the weird found family that is created in that book. I love V.E. Schwab's writing, and like all of the books she's written, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I think she's an amazing writer, great at creating, crafting, entertaining stories, but this specific character she created, love the whole anti-hero, like getting dressed up. Oh, I love Vicious. It's such a good book. I need to reread it. And then my other favorite main character, I put Daisy Calloway, or Daisy Meadows. I love her character development, her character arc throughout the whole Calloway series. I think that like just seeing her grow and become such like a strong, powerful human and deal with all of the things she had to go through really got to me. Really got to me. I'm trying to think of any other like major main characters I really enjoyed. I cannot think of his name, but the main character, and this is true for all of Andy Weir's novels, in The Martian I read this year, so funny, and I love a good funny character. I cannot think of his name, but the main character in The Martian, great main character, great narrator. Oh, chef's kiss. And then a new to me favorite author for this year, to absolutely no one's surprise, it's technically two, Krista and Becca Ritchie. I love Addicted Calloway. I think it's a great series. I read 10 books of their series. They're probably my favorite new authors of this year, but I also found Lynn Painter this year. Love Lynn Painter. She's got some great works. And then I had one more in my brain and I cannot think of it. Oh, who else is? Carissa Broadbent. I think she's a fabulous fantasy writer. I think she does really well. So those are my new favorite authors on this year. And then the next question was best reading experience. In my hand, right here. Without a doubt, Some Kind of Perfect. But then I did give a second place mention. I love The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. It is so cute, it is so fresh, you'll just giggle and kick your feet the whole time. It is so sweet and endearing. I love Painter's ability to like craft a character. She does just phenomenal contemporary rom-coms. And then the next one is most frustrating read. I put two down. I said Priest, which I actually DNF'd because I just didn't care for it at all. And then Iron Flame. I was just so... Violet made me so mad that whole time. So many of her problems could have been solved if she just weren't a coward. Like, girl, you literally crossed the parapet. Like, you've done so much, but you're scared to talk to your boyfriend. Are you kidding me? Like, dude, it didn't make sense for me. Like, it was so long too that I felt like nothing got accomplished until the very end. And even at that, I was like, this isn't even rewarding to finish it. Like, I kind of anticipated this happening. But maybe Rebecca Yarros and I just have very similar brains. And so it's like, well, you can't surprise me if we think the same. The next one we have for our questions is a book I keep thinking about. And this is by my choice. I put down Daisy Jones and the Six. Mostly because the studio album that came out of that, so good. I love 70s rock, and like you hear the influence. Honeycomb was so good. Regret Me is so good. They did stray a little from the book, but like they really captured the essence, and that made my heart so happy. I love the sound It's so good. And like Daisy Jones as a character, just thinking about whole like rock and touring culture at that time, rent free. Especially the way they deal with addiction and that. I think about it way too much. Okay, the next question. Ask. Cringiest book you read this year. I forgot I read this. That's how much it traumatized me. Well, not traumatized, but how much I didn't care for it. And I was thinking back and I was like, oh, that's definitely cringiest. It's Race to Me. It was a book I found on Stuff Your Kindle Day. It wasn't good. Everyone said it was. It wasn't. And it just gave me the ick the whole time. It was not for me. If it's for you, great. It wasn't for me. But it's okay. Okay. So, just talked about Race to Me. I don't remember like anything that happens. I actively choose not to remember that book. The next question, sorry, I want to get comfy. I'm not very comfy. Is an unpopular book that I love. And it's not necessarily that this author is unpopular, but this specific work of theirs isn't the most popular. But The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. Stunning, amazing, beautiful. I love it. It talks about community, what it means to be a book lover. It is so perfect. I cannot recommend it enough. Okay, then the next question is kind of, I feel like it's asking my highest rated on Goodreads and my lowest rated on Goodreads. This is not fair because my highest rated is the 10th book in a series. Of course people are going to give it 5 stars. Like, you know these characters at this point. You've been following them for multiple years in the series. But I do agree, it is spectacular. I love this book. I'll save this book in a fire. And then my lowest rated on Goodreads, things have gotten worse since we last spoke. I understand why people don't find it appealing, but I think people come in with the wrong idea. The author's intention is like, he wants to make you uncomfortable. That he achieves, so I don't think it's fair to be like, I hate this book, it's so weird and gross, when like that's the point, you know? So I don't think it's necessarily the worst book, but I understand why it's not the most popular. Okay, to continue on our journey, the next question and this little setup is, what are your favorite quotes? I don't have any on hand, so I'm just going to tell you the books they come from. Addicted Calloway, Divine Rivals, whatchamacallit, Happy Place. Oh, and Magnolia Parks. Jessa Hastings writes very lyrically. It's very pretty. It's almost poetic. Those are where I find my quotes. They're so good. I highly recommend all of those books. And then the books I'd reread, all of the ones I just listed. Emphasis on the Addicted Calloway, and then The Love Wager and Vicious, I think, are books I'd also love to reread. And then just a little sprinkle in there. I'm going to talk about the best book to screen adaptation to ever exist, because there's another season this year, and that's Heartstopper. Argue with the Wall, it's Heartstopper. Absolutely amazing. It's like you pull the comic and you pull a scene and they're like the exact same. Even the casting, Alice Desmond drew those men. What? I don't understand how she found real life Charlie Spring and real life Nick Nelson, but she did it. And it's fabulous. And then finally, my reading goals. Diversify my reads, get out of my comfort zone, and then number-wise, I'm thinking like 70. But I'm so excited to read in 2024, and hopefully you'll be there too, and maybe even more of you. So thanks for watching. Have a fabulous rest of your day. Goodbye.